Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to VP4 Online. We're here for another match in this year's 2021 VP4 World 8 Ball Championship. Match is about to start any second now, but just a quick word. There's a match in 2 hours' time, a second round match between Spectre Dawn and Cheeky Chico. I will watch the start of that, but I won't be streaming it, because it will run too late. I've got to be back up tomorrow morning for my work. And I believe that was the problem about the guys trying to set a time to suit me, because I think Chico's working late or something. I can't remember what he said. But anyway, that match to look forward to later on, and the one we're looking forward to now, where they should be going in the room. Where's the bloody thing again? I'm scrolling up and down here and I still can't see it. Where the hell is it gone? Anyway, that's it there. Columbus against HAZAD, second round match. And they are lagging off for the break. Once again, HAZAD, I think, is in the bottom of the screen. Good evening to Matt. And I think... no, I got that wrong again. The one at the top of the screen is the one in the top of the HUD is the one at the bottom of the screen. Columbus won the lag. He's breaking off. Looks dry. Just looking at the stripes. Obviously the 8 ball's blocked by the solid 7, but the stripes, the one issue is the 9 ball as well, which is a slight problem. We've got blocking balls on the bottom rail. Good evening, Mark. So HAZAD's had a look around. Now, that 13 ball, let me check my doodle's working, hang on. That 13 ball can be, obviously there's a gap to get in here to get on that and take that out. But if you could take it in such a way that you could spin in behind the 10, you can get rid of the 10 without bothering about the 4 ball blocking ball at the bottom of the screen there. So that's an issue. The problem though is finding a path to get down there, because it's tight where the 2 ball is. Now, if that holds its line, HAZAD can maybe do what I was thinking. He'd need to draw right into this 13. Good evening to Sergeresh. It looks as if he might have too much angle. It might have needed to be a wee bit shallower. But he's got to look at dealing with the 10. And now, what angle's he got in the 14? That looks pretty good to me. The 14 will do if he can just travel over to the 8 ball. I don't think he's got there though. I don't think he's got there for either of them. He can't get the 9 and he can't get the 10. So now, HAZAD has a problem. Now, I don't think I've seen... I don't think I've ever seen Columbus shoot. I don't know, he's got a Turkish flag. So we're about to see him shoot and see what sort of standard and level that he plays at. Good evening to Dwight, or good afternoon. Well, that's now pushed the 10 ball in outward shape. So the 8 ball's now completely covered. Now, one thing to take a risk, if you're going to go for the kill here, the immediate option you have is on this 6 ball to get into that side rail. Maybe he's moved house. Well, he didn't really go in with any great deal of force to manipulate things here, so he's not improved the situation for his chances of running out. That needed to be a bit more aggressive. And of course it's the usual story. When you don't take that first opportunity and you keep potting balls, you run out of opportunities. Now he's just not gone far enough in a 3-ball. Had he gone far enough, see, this is where you've got to be thinking in your feet, and I keep saying it and players don't listen. There's another opportunity to break it out if he'd got the angle. And so now it's going to end up with him trying to play a bank or something on this 8-ball. And of course, if he doesn't get it, HAZAD's going to be the favourite. And this is why he had, a couple of opportunities to get decent shape on the ball that would get the breakout, and he never done it. This is the only option he's got left, and it's a sellout if he doesn't get it. Well, maybe not, considering where the cue ball is. But I don't fancy his chances in a second or two when HAZAD just plays safe onto this 10-ball. He's going to be blocked out. And HAZAD looks as if he's trying a totally ambitious cut here. And that was not the shot. I mean, that's just crazy. You've got to lock him up behind the 10-ball. I mean, it was staring you right in the face. Not the wisest of choices, albeit early on in the match, but if that's the way you're going to play to keep things tight and give yourself a second go, then not what I'd have done. And that is a sellout. Good evening to Hairpig. Good evening, Chico. I don't know what HAZAD was thinking there, but that's certainly not the shot of somebody who's thinking in their feet. I mean, trying to be a hero with a crazy cut when all he had to do was lock his opponent up, and more than likely going to get an easier chance at just tidying up, and he's sold a rack doing that, I'm afraid. It's also what I say, I mean, I don't care who you're playing, I don't care what the rating is. You play the table and you play the sensible shots. If the chance is there to lock somebody up and wait for a better opportunity, especially when your shot choice was nothing easy, then you've got to take the sensible shot. Simple as that. To me, it's just plain logic. So HAZAD's on the stripes, and again, there is a ball that's not necessarily a problem as long as you plan ahead and think about getting there on it. It's obviously, what is it, the 13 behind the 8-ball, but clearly it goes, and the 12-ball is the adjacent ball to deal with that, provided things don't move. That still could be a helpful ball in getting on that 13. Columbus may well move those balls if he gets an angle on this 1 ball. If he just drops the 7 in to try and hold for the 1, in fact he might actually have too much angle. He's going to come away from the 8 and the 13 more than likely. Yeah, he's going to avoid that. Now the 2 ball, let's be honest, it really doesn't go comfortably from there, but he's dropped through. Now where does the 8 ball go though? So again, HAZAD is strong favourite for this rack. He was strong favourite for the first one, gave it away. He's going to be coming to the table in a second or two. I would assume so, unless Columbus can pick something out somewhere in this 8-ball. So the 13 doesn't need moved. The 12 is an adjacent ball to get to the 13. So nothing needs to be touched. It's just about the usual, joining the dots. Now again, that 11 ball up the table, to me that's what I'd be dealing with. That one, then the one over the corner, then the 12 to drop onto the 13. But he's still got the 12 to drop down the bottom side of the 8, so everything's looking good to square the match. No reason why it shouldn't be. Well, there you go. And HAZAD has got lucky, extremely lucky, I think. Because you should never be missing with a wide open table and nothing to do with the cue ball. So HAZAD needs to give himself a shakedown here pretty quickly. He's going to get a second bite at the cherry. Now that's slightly the wrong angle in this 11 ball. He's going to be running. He's going to try and drop this in dead weight and maybe hold the angle. No, he's trying to stun it and hold it. That'll do. But again, the cue ball's going the wrong direction here. Strange things can happen. Used all of the pocket. So back all square, but not an impressive start so far. Columbus break, and again it looks dry. I'm just thinking, well, what's the favourable set here? The 10 ball passes the 1 and the 3. We've got all those solids in this corner guarding the 8 ball. You've got stripes in an awkward position, so the solids have all got pockets. The stripes don't. Well, not easily they don't. Now there's a bit of intricate positional play needed here from HAZAD. 2 ball could act as a bailout ball up the table for the time being, I would think, but if he's on that 4 and he's had a complete slam at that. Again, trying to create something out of nothing. So now, with a missed call, Columbus has an opportunity, albeit nothing easy either from this position. But there's also a change up table. We've got, what's that again, the 11 hide behind the 1. And it's not really got a comfortable pocket. I mean, from here it goes in the corner, but again, you've got to get good on it. So what to do here for Columbus? And the biggest problem, of course, is the 15. I think it's not quite nailed to the rail, but not far off it. Yeah, just a millimetre or two, so that's going to be tough to deal with. Well, the 7, it does go, it's tight. So again, HAZAD's needing a second bite at the cherry to get the job done. We know that 7 is tight, but it does go. But the problem is it doesn't look quite as simple when you're at this angle to it. But nice little stun. We'll just be killing the cue ball for the 8 in the side. Don't tell me we've got a connection issue. All of a sudden everything stopped. Yeah, I think somebody's gone. Looks like it. Oh, is it? I'm not reading the chat. I'm too busy. I'm not reading the game chat. I'm too busy looking at the on-screen chat. Another little tester because it's going into a blind pocket in the side, and another one up table, slightly offline. Again, just the little bit more control would have got him, you know, staring down the barrel into the side. Just got it offline, decided to go up table. But he's got that partial safety net of the 15 ball in the side rail. Good evening to Cobra. Now Columbus, I don't know how well he can just drop this 9 in. He's got a bit more angle than he would like, but that's going to be the make or break shot. I think he's got plenty of room to try and just drop onto the side rail off this 14. The only thing is that the angle he's got is heading up table to do that. If he does that, and he could hook himself behind the 8, he looks as if he's trying to come square across. Well, what's the little nudge like? Well, it's off the rail, let's just say that, but he's got to dig right down into this 15 to avoid the scratch. In fact, he might not even, looking at the line of the pot, I don't think he's going near the pocket. He looks as if he's taking it the other corner. This is tough. Well, that's excellent. Where's the cue ball finishing though? No man's land. A good recovery, but the positions let him down. And if he goes for the pot in this one, he looks odds on to scratch. Yeah, well, he'll do well to avoid any scratch in this. In fact, he's not interested. He's going to try the bank again. Oh, he managed to scratch the opposite side, so a gift for HAZAD for the 2-1 lead. So any latecomers who've joined the stream, just to let you know, there is the match tonight in about 100 minutes time at 9:30 GMT between Spectre Dawn and Cheeky Chico. I'll watch a bit of it but I won't be streaming it because I'll be heading to bed fairly soon after it starts. Also a reminder that I haven't double checked the calendar, but I've been told that Friday Night 9 Ball is now changed back to its 7 PM GMT time. It has been adjusted, but I don't think any other tournaments have for that matter, but Friday Night 9 Ball has been. Not a pretty setup at the moment here. Yeah, I should be in bed at 9:30. I should be in bed at 9:15, but I've got a short shift tomorrow, so it's not quite as important. I mean, I woke up today, and this is my second day off. I'm back to work tomorrow. Woke up today at 6 o'clock this morning, and then I had my breakfast, and then by the time it got to 11 o'clock, I was falling asleep. I had to go back to my bed for about an hour or so. That's what getting older does to you. So Columbus on the stripes, as I had the solids. And now there's going to be a bit of messing about to improve the situation in this bottom left hand corner. Columbus has control of the pocket with the 11 ball protecting the top half of the pocket, but from the bottom rail you can get a ball in, but there's not much there to go in. 7 balls wide open for HAZAD, and his problem ball's the 4. I'm up at 4 AM every day, apart from my days off, that is. The problem is my body clock doesn't switch off. No, I say solids. So HAZAD now is again running out of opportunities here. Well, there's a really aggressive shot available here. Really aggressive. Get the spin in it and get it round, or go up and down, whatever way. He checked it inside, and that hasn't really helped me a great deal, because he's not got any other shot. I don't think he's going to have to play this little combo. And the other problem then is getting on the 7. I don't think he's got any alternative here than to just chip that one in. You've got to play at gentle speed. And now he's relying on big luck there to get on the 4. He could have hit that at gentle speed where the 4 was staying round about here and had an easy pot. I do wish players would take that wee bit more time to assess the situation. And if you do that, you probably clear your mind a bit better and what's the right thing to do. So now Columbus has, well, he's got a shot which he's missed, and he just has to hope that that 4 ball is covered, and it doesn't look as if it is. And the only lifeline now is still going to be the 7. And Columbus has now gone favourite if he can pot these balls, because HAZAD's hooked, going for the kick. And the odds on that 7-ball going in any pocket are slim to zero from where it's sitting, considering the 2 pockets adjacent to it are both blocked. Well, that has now given Columbus what's required, ball in hand, but can he take these balls out? Now straight away he's taken an adjacent ball away from the 8-ball. The next nearest is the 14, and if he doesn't get good shape in the 14, there's loads of wide open spaces around that 8-ball to fall upward on it. And now clearly he isn't really thinking from that shot. I mean, that's just getting lucky to brush onto the 14. That didn't convince me that there was much thought put into that. And now he's going to be well away from the 8-ball here. Loads of room to get just right into the middle of the table. And a reasonably straight in 8. And this to square the match. Now, does anybody want to take control of this match at any point, I wonder? Well, there's balls flying in all over the place. Now, was the cue ball one of them? Or is that the cue ball up table? Yeah. What did we lose here? We lost 3 balls in the break. And they all look reasonably good to me. I mean, stripes look to be favoured. We've got is that all solids up the table now? Yeah. So this would be a good one for Columbus to take out from the break. Is he running into this 8? Well, he hasn't really got a hold of the cue ball there. He's got no shot. And immediately HAZAD goes favourite because of the way these balls are lying. I'm just double checking that was. I was thinking that was a 9 up there. Good evening to Simon. Well, this cuts on the right side, but you know, you've just got to go for it. And that's an excellent shot, but no luck whatsoever. Now, has he got enough of this 8-ball? He's got absolutely nothing of it. Well, I heard some sad news today, Mark. You're old enough to remember Take the High Road. I don't know whether they showed it much down south when it was on. But I heard that Gwyneth Guthrie had passed away, who played Mrs. Mac, the woman with the hats and the attitude problem. And I remember selling her fridge. That's going to lock up there. I remember selling her a fridge when I worked at Curry's. Very nice woman compared to the character she played. Yeah. And Gerrard's gone to Aston Villa. They're at the bottom of the pile. I think they're 3 points away from relegation, so he's got a miracle to work the rest of the season. But he'll be getting the big bucks for it. So HAZAD was always going to be the favourite, but again, here's the perfect situation where you can easily get this all wrong by the 8 ball sitting pretty much in the head spot or not far off it. And that's not going to get the job done. Again, positional play is the big letdown for most players in this tournament, or most players in anything. You know, if you cannot get the shape right and give yourself those opportunities to string balls together in a regular basis, you're always going to get found out at some point. You know, and that's what things that players have to work on. See how the 4 ball going back up the table and going inside? Yeah, you've got to get here in time here, Pig. Got to get before the match starts. You get marks off for turning up late. Well, it's a gift for HAZAD, but again, you don't want to be relying on gifts. You want to be doing the job and getting it done. You want to be proactive. So it's a slender lead. No, I won't be there. That's what I'm saying. That's too late for me. 9:30 is way too late. Need to have a call. I can't remember what Chico said. He sent me a message, and I think he didn't finish work till later or something. I can't remember, but that's partly the reason I think it was set at 9:30. I say if the guys can set the matches at a time that suits me, then that's fine. But if they can't, that's fine as well, because you know you only have to work round what time you've got. I wouldn't say that, Mr. Monkey, Mr. Rotor. Nothing's a foregone conclusion in this match. There's not an awful lot to impress at the moment. You know, mind you, give them time, they might settle down. So, again, problem situation adjacent to the 8 ball, but clearly, again, the problem is there, but the solution is there also in getting rid of that 6 ball. But the issue then is how do you get to the 6 if you can't get decent shape on a ball that will allow you to get there? That's a struggle here. Again, the angle in the 4 doesn't help a great deal. But a nice little stunt might do the job. Oh, that's unlucky. Another inch and a half and he would have been on that 3 ball, and he could have played a little cannon into those 2 balls, the 14 and whatever it is behind it. It might be the 11, and that would have held for the 2. It was a good effort to get there, just not enough. Well, if you've seen how HAZAD has played in these early racks, you realise why Columbus has got 2 racks on the board. So now, Columbus going all out by the look of it. Hoping that the 3 would follow in, but no immediate damage, because where the cue ball's finished, HAZAD hasn't really got a great shot. But again, he could play a decent safety, just roll through and follow that ball through the 11 ball or the 13 and cover the 6 and leave the awkward cut in the 3 if Columbus wants to take the bait. Now Columbus again could just skim up the table like that, and I wonder if HAZAD can rein his attacking sensibilities in here. Yes, he has. And again, that is a bit more common sense. That's what I like to see, rather than taking on some stupid effort just to look a hero. And that now changes it up slightly, because now HAZAD has a shot he can't refuse. And the other problem is, well, there's not really a problem. If he can get this nice, he would want to take that pink 12 if he can just hold for it, and that's not bad. Now this is where you have to play the shot with confidence. You've got to stun this firm and make sure that you go past the 6. I see he's put draw on it rather than stun, and that's why you end up there. And now again, there's technique issues here in the shot that's going to get you to the decent shape. It had to be a stun rather than a draw. And now Columbus has a chance to square the match. Now let's look at where he's going to leave himself here. Is he going to take that 6 and try and avoid traffic? Because the only 1 ball he can hit is that, whatever it is again, I keep forgetting, 13. And he's 3 balls over the pocket. And he might not get a better chance to get good on that 6. And that'll do. But this has come about because HAZAD should have just dinked a stun. A nice little firm stunt, he would have been fine. Well, he's having a tough time, and it's self-inflicted though. You know, knowing what shot to play, what's the right one to play in that situation. You know, that is automatic pilot for the better players. You know, you would never play a draw shot because you're only ever going to go really close to the ball, and that's you then relying on luck again to get a kiss and bring it into play. You know, the right thing to do was the stun. The worst you were going to do is chip the 6 ball, but you're still going to then leave yourself a higher angle on the cut on the ball to get into the table. You ended up getting too close to it, and that's allowed Columbus to get back all square. Now HAZAD, no, sorry, not HAZAD, Columbus has a ball. Now what do you choose here? Well, you're making a point, Matt, that I sort of covered a wee bit earlier. What I'm saying is that you can't come into any match with the idea that you're going to win it, in the sense that it's a given that you're going to win it. You have to work to win it. You can't be taking liberties. You can't be loose, and you have to play the balls and play the table. And as soon as you get the wrong mindset, things start going wrong. And at this moment in time, it's sitting at 3-all. How are you going to be thinking if it's 9-all? You know, that's what I mean. You know, you've got to play with full intent right from the start. If you're taking your eye off the ball, you can very suddenly find that it's 9-all, and then things start to tweak, things start to pinch, and then the mind starts going all over the place. You're thinking of the doom and gloom and the outcome that might be, when it might all be of your own making. And that's why I say I don't care who you play, I don't care what the rating is, I don't care whether you've beat them 10 out of the last 11 times you've played them. It's a different situation when you have to deliver. And this is going to go very nicely indeed. Nice little cannon onto the 1. Delicate little 8-ball. And Columbus finds himself in the lead. Yeah, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. So HAZAD's break gives him a ball, gives him a shot. Now, what we got up table? We've got 2 stripes up table. We've got 1 solid on the top half, and everything else is all in and around the 8-ball. So I'd be taking the solids here without a doubt. We've got 3 on the right side there, all lined up in a row. We've got the 6-ball, which does have a pocket. We've got the 1 ball behind the 14. I think this is a bit too straight, this. He might take the 6-ball next if he just kills the cue ball. If he takes the 6-ball up table to the top right, he can hold for the 7. And now he's, well, I don't know what that was he's played, but that's not the shot. I mean, he could have killed the cue ball, played the 6 up table, get into the gap, and got on the 7. And this is all over the place. And these are the opportunities that if Columbus applies himself, he can open up a lead here. And suddenly HAZAD has got work to do. 10 balls wide open. He needs to, I think, draw off this and avoid the 8-ball. Well, you see, that's, again, you don't want to be running into balls. And now he's out of line. He's going to have to take the tough 11. If that's the 11, it might be the 13, but we'll just call it the 11 because I can't be bothered zooming in to look at it. And, well, he's got 1 remaining ball and he has to be careful with this, with the pace. If he's going to be, again, positive, he would come back to the left and try and find the gap. Is that bouncing far enough? Yes, it is. He could have went left side, but he's managed to come down the right side, and he's opened up the 10, I think. Surely he can get to it. Yes, he can. Oh, he's dead straight, though. Absolutely bolt straight on this. Now, there's the problem there with just drawing the ball and hoping. You know, that's a draw and a hope. And that doesn't get you there. So again, the stun draw would have been the shot to get the pace, but to stop the fizz in the cue ball. You know, that shot there that Columbus has just played, there was no real semblance of where he was going to get on this ball. He was just hoping he got lucky. And that's not the way to play the game. You have to then try and get yourself to that next level where you can control that cue ball better with better technique. And you'll only get that through practice. The better players in the game don't move the cue ball as much as that. And if they do, it's usually only a last resort. Everything else is little stun shots and little soft draws. And it's given HAZAD a chance to square the match. That's Columbus has shown his weakness there in that rack. One problem to deal with, but he didn't deal with it with any constructive way of doing it. And it gave HAZAD the chance to tie it up, and this is really ugly. Well, good evening to Miasma. Well, I don't like any set of balls here. This is one of these racks where nothing's good, really. You've got awkward solids. You've got two strikes tied up in the bottom rail. And HAZAD was trying to move things and improve the situation there. Well, he could go for the big draw off the 4 and try and draw the cue ball into something. Oh, he managed to find a gap. I didn't think the 3 went there. I should have had a look. Well, that's better than it. That's better than I thought it would be. And he's also tied up another 2 of Columbus's balls. So this is the decisive one, getting up table. That'll do it. This cue ball has got to be stunned again and just come back to the left slightly just to get a good line in the 8 ball. He sees he's just playing it gentle. He's now leaving himself more angle in the 8. You know, even that shot, you can play it better to get yourself a better line in the 8 ball. But in it goes. So HAZAD now finds himself back in the lead and breaking, and I don't think anything went. Now we saw I don't know whether it was the last stream, but we saw some decent breaks in one of the last matches. But these breaks here are you know, a lot of the balls are breaking, but you're still having problems. You know, there's nothing lying good that you're confident that you're going to run out. But HAZAD, sorry, not HAZAD, Columbus on the solids. And the benefit of that, though, is, well, I think he was, I don't know whether he was trying to drop the 2 in and hold for that 4, and I don't know whether the 4 does go. I would assume it does. Yes, it does. But he's taking his eye off the ball for the 2 ball. And of course now we can see where the major issue is for HAZAD. The 2 balls behind the 4. None of them are any good, really. Of course, again, to come to the player's defence, we've always got to remember that these guys don't play in the 10-footer. Simple as that. Yeah, I seen that semi. I should be there for that one. Why is it 7:35 and not 7:30? May I ask? I don't know whether he can get to the 11 either. Yes, he can. He thinks he can get the 13. Maybe just enough of it showing. Not quite. So, Columbus also has a problem ball, and the chances are he's going to have to give up the table if he does play the 6-11 combo just to get rid of the 11 ball. He's going to give up the table, and the problem again with that is that he's leaving an easy shot for HAZAD to get back in. 15 ball, let's have a look at that. Well, again, if you're sitting good on it, you can drop it into the side, and it's tight going up the rail, although it's obviously not tight now. And this is the shot that you've got to go 100%. You play the 4, you try and get the hit, because he's got the perfect angle to do it. He needed a bit of spin though. But now he's going to play the shot. Oh no, he's still got a ball up table. I forgot about that one. What one's that? The 5. Well, this is a big shot. And then if he doesn't get this, he's got to hope that he doesn't really improve the situation for HAZAD. I don't think there's much choice here for Columbus other than cutting the 6 onto the 11, but you know, it's not going to really gain him anything. He's going to give HAZAD a free shot in a minute or 2 unless he works something out here. Well, this is kind of back against the wall with this visit, because you can't see this ending positively for Columbus. It looks as if HAZAD's gone odds-on favourite. And having said that though, Columbus has done, he's gone and played a bloody half decent safety, because HAZAD's got no shot. He'll take that. And HAZAD's now got the problem of making sure that Columbus can't play a cut on this 6. So what you don't do is leave that open to a pocket. Well, that's the worst shot of the night. You've just saw it there, folks. That was from Cloud Cuckoo Land, that shot. Having said that, there's nothing easy here for Columbus, but he's got to nail this to punish HAZAD for that shot. That'll do. Yeah, that was just screwball pull that we just witnessed there. I'm pretty certain. I don't think either player can come up with any worse shot than that one tonight. Although I wouldn't lay odds on something else crazy like that happening, but it'd be a tall order to beat it. Meanwhile, Columbus break in rack number 11. Another dry one. And once again, we just cannot get a tidy rack where these balls are lying nice to encourage a player. I think the one thing that might favour either player is being able to run a table, but that's not going to be conducive with the way these balls are lying. You know, there's work to do, and it involves getting good shape on another ball to get some sort of breakout. And the odds don't look really favourable in that happening. What's the angle he's got here? He might try for a hit here at the moment. Yep. Well, he hit everything but his own balls there. And he's got daylight for the 14, which is an awkward cut into the side. Cue balls going over this side. He would at least probably have a shot in the 13 if he took on the 14. Or the 12, sorry, that pink 12. But I don't think he's got much of an alternative here. If he just fully focuses in the pot while he's digging down again. I think HAZAD is lacking the discipline of what's called patience on a particular shot. Because it's as if he'd run out of ideas of what to do there. You just go all out for the 14 in the side. You should have been able to see the 12. The one thing Columbus doesn't want to do is do anything to improve the situation for HAZAD, because if he's getting impatient, then let him get more impatient. He's going to start taking on risks. Well, that's a good shot, but where's the cue ball going? Well, he's just, I think, got enough of that 12, maybe not. It looks tight. It's tight past the 1 to make the potting angle, and he's got a dodgy cut in the 14 which is tight past the 5, and he's got a dodgy 9 which is played well. That's a good shot. Well, if you're on this 12, you've got to take it and deal with the 10, and then you can get out into the table for the 14. You know, you've got to deal with that up table. That 10 ball stuck to the rail probably. You want to get that dealt with. But again, struggling with the potting angles and the line on this table again. And that's a golden opportunity there for HAZAD that's gone. And what's more, all of these balls are there for Columbus, but he's going to have to play a good starting shot to get in. Now he needs a nice little kiss. He's missed the 5. He's got the 1 into the side. And Columbus has to take his time, because this is, I don't think he's going to get a better opportunity just to take out these balls. There wouldn't be a problem in leaving the 5 ball till last, because of where the 8 ball is, and it's on the left hand side of the table. I mean, that wouldn't be a major problem. Again, he's using all the pockets. See, he's now run into the 6. He's on the 1. The 7's still down the bottom of the table, so the cue ball's going to be moving. Good evening to Potman. Now, what angles he got in that 1? Let's have a quick look. Not bad. He can just roll through. But if again, slight angle on this one, he might try and draw off it. Hard to say what he's trying to play here. Yeah, no, but that again is a player who isn't sure about what on how to get there, you know, and then just having a lash. Yeah, that's where players are struggling. The level of player that they are struggling to just work out in their head what's the shot to play to get on that. The problem is the slight angle he had, he could have still rolled through, and then he would have had to probably get down to the bottom rail here and back up. Sometimes that's the way you have to do it, but just having a bash and a hope, it's never good to see a player hitting and hoping, and there's been 2 or 3 of them in this match, and it's just something that they, you know, if they apply themselves, they'll pick up through time and finding ways to get there, because it's not often that you don't have a way to get to a ball, but banging at a ball is a shot of desperation. So now HAZAD 1 in front, committed to the solids, and they're looking pretty good to me. Pretty good because you haven't got to move anything other than the cue ball. But straight away, is he in the gap? Well, he just found a gap. What was up with the PC, Potman? Well, again, this looks dead simple, but HAZAD's got to leave himself a nice straight line if he can on this 8 ball. And well, I'm saying no. I'm saying nothing else. I thought we'd seen the worst shot of the night earlier on, but that might just better it slightly. So ball in hand for Columbus, which again simply you cannot afford to throw away. Well, I think he had to make sure he was opening up the shot rather than leaving it at an angle, you know, because these players are struggling on certain shots, as every new player to the 10-foot table has found out. You know, reading that line is slightly differently in the perspective of EP4 and so you try and take the easier option and make it a straighter pot, but HAZAD overhit it and followed it in. Meanwhile, Columbus, you know, straight away there, that shot there again, difficult enough as it is it's just more difficult when you're on this 10-footer and not used to it. It's left HAZAD with a chance to pinch the rack, and he has done. So that's one that's got away there for Columbus again. All those balls wide open, you can't be doing that. So the gap is now there for HAZAD to build on it. He's got the 2-rack lead. He shouldn't have, but that's the way things pan out. Columbus with a wide open table, all the balls there, but again just struggling to get shape properly, make things simple. Well, again, he's got an angle in the 15, and he could deal with the 10. If he just drops the 15 in, I think he could deal with the 10 from that side, which would free up the 9 a bit more. Now, this is one you just have to get slightly a hold of, I think. Well, he's run into the 9, and now he's in no man's land. Now he's got a tough one, and of course the 9 ball does go from where he is, but he could play a draw off the 12, which would be really awkward, but he's found shape round onto the 10. Now, in fact, I'd be taking that 12 right now, because that's easy enough just to do a little stun onto the 10. You've got a match coming up in what time's that? You've got a match coming up in about 50 minutes time between Spectre Dawn and Cheeky Chico at 9:30. Well, HAZAD now has the comfortable gap, and it's his to give away. He's now breaking with a 3-rack lead. No way that no way the 13's going with the look of it, although if you look at it that way you can do your best to try and cheat the pocket. So HAZAD not exactly spoilt for choice, but he's got a clear sight in the 5, I think that is, down the bottom here. Clear sight in the 3 up table. 7 balls up there as well. And now if he takes that 5, he can't avoid probably running into those 2 balls there above it. He's looking up table though. So now he's committed. All his balls on the bottom half, the 8 balls in the top half. Now I think he can get back up into the middle of the table. Well, he's got the little nudge in the 9, which has worked out pretty good. I think he was trying to go up table to open up the 1 ball. He can still cut the 1, but it's easier to play if he just drops the 6 in. And now he has to make sure he's decided how he's getting on this 2 ball. He's going for the stun right across. Now, the safest shot is up table. Just drag it in. See, just the pace to hold the line for the 8. And now it's shaping up that HAZAD has done enough that's going to keep Columbus at bay now. He's now got a comfortable lead, 9 racks to 5. And I think that's 1 break during the whole match by any player where the break has worked. And unfortunately, the one thing that's gone down is a cue ball, so it's worked in HAZAD's favour here. What now? 1, 2, 3 balls, 4, well, 4 if you include the cue ball. And the table is wide open. It's Christmas come early here for HAZAD, and he's got to be out. Well, we'll have a look at the bracket at the end of this match, just to remind myself what's been updated, if there's anything. Meanwhile, HAZAD, with absolutely no excuse, other than he has a problem in getting down table for the 8 ball to get good on it. But it only goes into 1 pocket in this bottom half. Unless you finish below it. He's got a half decent angle to try and get down to that middle pocket. That's pretty much got there. And that's a few in a row now that HAZAD's won. He's pulled away and he's now on the hill. Oh, that was a nervy match, that, between Jose and Wanwa. Jose missing pots with ball in hand. I mean, Aye. Wanwo, I think, was more nervous in the end because it was his last fail that gifted Jose the match. So HAZAD at the table, and he's on the solids. We've got one problem for either player right next to the 8 ball. So as soon as you come to the table, you know you've got that problem with the 2 ball. So then you're looking at some way of finding an angle on a ball that might take you for the breakout. There's nothing really very appetising there at all. You've got the corner pocket blocked pretty much on the right side as we look by the 9 ball, I think. And nothing's really all that inviting. Well, this is now really awkward. He could just try, see if he could get right into the cue ball. He could just try and tuck himself over by the 2. But that was never going to be easy to play that right over the 9 ball. So it's up to Columbus to make the move. What the hell is VNEA rules? I've never heard of that one. Cue ball. Oh. Well, that's a new one to me. I've never heard of VNEA. What the hell does that mean? What's that an abbreviation for? Well, that could be the fatal move there by Columbus. Although the 2 ball's now tied up with a 4. That's gone awkward. I was going to say fatal move there, but considering where HAZAD is, I don't know, he couldn't see his 5 ball enough. HAZAD can just brush off the 4 and go to the side rail, and should be using that 6 ball as cover, and doing that he opens up the 4 and the 2. Seems a fairly straightforward enough, simple enough shot to me. The only worry I would think is I forgot about the 13 up the table. I've just realised that 13's up there, and that would leave a cut in the 13. Valley National 8 Ball Association, so this is like a local thing. Aye, I mean, it's not like a governing body though, is it? It's just the name of the tour. Oh, is it? Are they a brand, a manufacturer? I've never heard of them at all. So HAZAD has, let's have a look at that 6. Well, let's be honest, he's got a problem with the 6 ball. That's going to scupper his chances of taking out this match at this visit, unless he can drop through off the 5, but he's the wrong side, I'll say that again, he's the wrong side of the 5. So now he's probably going to draw down the table anyway, or is he going to try and get good on it off the 4? Well, that looks slightly better control with the draw, and he's on the 6 as good as he's ever going to be. But that won't do him any good, although he can cut this in the gap, I think. Yeah. But where's the cue ball ending up? I think he'll just go at the short rail. I think he's okay for the scratch. And he's done the right thing. He's blocked a pocket. Okay, Columbus has got a shot on the 13th. But he's going to have to get this cue ball running to try and move something. And really struggling there. But likewise, he's not. The only good thing about that shot is he didn't move anything, because HAZAD's going to have to cut this off the rail and just catch the edge of the 4. So now, with that miss, Columbus has got one lifeline. Well, this is going to be a test as well, because this needs one of these little stun draws to control the pace. You get too much juice in it, you end up on the bottom side of the 8. Well, he's played the stun. Could have done with coming back an inch or two. He's got a testy cut. I mean, these are not easy when you're not familiar with this table. Yeah, and so HAZAD is going to run out the winner, 11 racks to 5. He's certainly going to have to step up his game a bit, as we'll see who he gets, or who he's due to get in the next round. Now, obviously you don't follow the 8 ball in. Is that what you called here, Pig? Oh, well, good shout. Well, he's won out in the end. It wasn't all that convincing, but as I say, it doesn't matter how you win. It's staying in the tournament and staying in the winner's side that matters. There's always room for improvement, and there's time to do it. So HAZAD goes through. Quick look at the bracket, see where we are. We'll start from top to bottom. We've got Legit Matthew and Shibo. They're scheduled in, what's that, 3 days' time at 3 PM. And I should be there for that. We've got Jose to play Bill tomorrow night at 5 PM. I'll be there for that. We've got Albinario. These are all round 2 matches now. We've got Albinario through to round 3, and he's going to play the winner of Semi-Pro and MC Clarkey. And they go ahead on whenever that is. When's the 15th? Is that Sunday at 7:35? And then Bedhead is through. Marcellus forfeited one way or another. And Larry is still to arrange his match with Popman. They've got 6 more days to arrange that. The deadline is the 17th. Now that Popman's back online and his PC is working, then you think it might be not that long before they do. We've got Keith to play Mr. Fox, but nothing happening there either in that match. And then we have Cobra arranged to play DJ Simon at 6 PM. This is Thursday the 11th, Friday the 12th, Saturday the 13th, Sunday the 14th. So the other one must be Monday. Semi-Pro and MC Clarkey, that's Monday night. And then further down, of course, this is the one that's starting in 35 minutes time between Spectre Dawn and Cheeky Chico. And good luck to them. And then we've got Mr. Strocum against Fast Eddie. I think Mr. Strocum's either the USA or Canada. Fast Eddie's USA, so that might be the middle of the night when that one's played, my time. We've got Disabler against Jeeves, and they're scheduled for a couple of days' time as well. Again, too late for me, 9 o'clock at night. We've got Stubb to play Mark Sharp. Again, Mark Sharp's either Canada or the States, and so is Stubbs the States. So again, that'll be a time to suit them. We've got Woody through to play the winner of Sergresh and Pater Invictus. And then that match that we saw there, Hazad is through, and he'll play Little Wolf or John Boo. I would expect John Boo to be the favourite in that match, and then I would expect Hazad to be the favourite against whoever he plays. So he's got a path to get to the third round. It's whether he takes it or not, and that is it. And the one loss side, I don't think there's any action happening. There's nothing arranged there at the moment in the one loss side. So that's it, guys. So in about 30 odd minutes time, Spectre Dawn against Cheeky Chico, and I'll watch the start of it, and then I'll head off to bed once it started. Yes, I will be doing Jose and Bill tomorrow night, or tomorrow afternoon, whenever that is. I'll be there for that. So until we meet then, guys, take care, stay safe, and I'll bid you good night. Thanks all for watching. I'll see you again soon.